without investing a bunch of capital or having a bunch of followers on social media, and having to spend a bunch of money on ads. So before we start, again, since it's a small group, we don't necessarily have to drop in the chat, but you want to drop in the chat just, a quick intro of what you're looking forward to getting out of the presentation. And that way we just get to know a little bit more about you. But Denise, since you already shared, if you want to drop more in the chat, that would be great. Otherwise, I think I got a good idea of what you're doing. While you do that, though, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Lori Conkler. I am a certified business success coach with my company, which is called the Xennial Traveler. And back in 2016, I was working in a corporate level executive, 9-to-5 job. And my aha moment, as I call it, happened as a result of going on vacation and using the paid time off that I had accrued over my many years of working. When my husband and I returned from that trip, I realized I was missing out on living the life I'd always talked about and dreamt of, and which was being my own boss and helping people in a way that actually made me happy. And I had traded in the comforts that I wanted, or the dreams for the comfort of a steady check, living the American dream, as we all call it, right? So my husband and I decided it was time to wake up, change our lives. So I quit my job and we moved to the Virgin Islands just like 3 months later, where I began my journey as an entrepreneur. I ended up building 4 profitable businesses, all remote based, and as a result have been able to coach hundreds of entrepreneurs all over the world to help them do exactly what I did, which was ditching that 9-to-5 and being able to confidently launch and scale remote based businesses that bring them upwards of $10,000+ per month. And these are in all types of businesses. Today, I may or may not have with me my good friend Zadie, who is a part of my team. She is our director of brand, copy, and community. She is also a certified coach and works very closely with me on my marketing team. And I'm going to just briefly introduce her because I don't know if her audio is actually working. Her internet just went down literally right before we were going. Zadie is, like I said, a certified coach. She is not only part of my team, but she herself is an entrepreneur. As you can see up on her screen probably here, it says New Credit CEO. She is a financial coach and works with individuals and businesses, in addition to helping me on my team to build their credit and get a good financial start in their businesses. So gonna go ahead here and assume that she can't speak right now. So, oh wow. So I just noticed Denise's note there that she is from St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, which I spent 4 years living in St. Croix. So that is a very small world there. That's awesome, Denise. I consider St. Croix my home, so that's a great connection there.
Nice. I was born and raised there.
Awesome. Yes, we left last year, right before the pandemic hit, to spend some time in the States and haven't been able to go back because of pandemic life. So awesome. And I noticed Shablice also joined, and I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but if you want to drop in the chat at all, anything that you're excited about, looking forward to in this presentation, or that you're looking to get out of there. And I guess I won't keep announcing that to everybody that joins. So feel free to interact in the chat, and I will keep an eye on it as much as I can as well. But I want to make sure that we get down to business, and I'm going to do that without hopefully a bunch of fluff. So I want to just jump right in and get you started. So today I'm going to introduce what I call my 90 days to cash flow blueprint. And by 90 days to cash flow, I'm talking about a system that allows you to get your ideas and dreams, out of your brain and starting to work on building that bank account both quickly and confidently. Let's see that on my screen. Okay. So as part of this system and this session today, what you're going to discover is 5 simple shifts that are going to help you to get big ideas that help you to convert those ideas into the cash flow that you all need in order to jumpstart your lives as entrepreneurs, specifically even remote-based entrepreneurs, which is really my area of specialty. I do work with brick and mortar business owners as well, but I'm also going to show you some tools that you can use, such as the art of brainstorming and how to create impactful business and product ideas that will convert into sales. We're also going to talk about the mistakes that most entrepreneurs make when launching their new businesses, and I see these a lot, so that you can save yourself the headache and avoid them altogether. And then also how to leverage your social media to create a business that aligns with your goals. And most importantly, we're going to keep it super simple and do it all without ads or even having to, have a fancy website. So the goal is, to set you up to be like people like Victoria. She is a Facebook lead generation agency owner who, after just 7 months, was able to hit the $10,000 per month mark and has consistently kept growing her profits month after month. She is on target to hit $40,000 per month within 12 months of starting her business. And like me, I've successfully created 4 remote businesses myself, grew my Instagram followers by over 2,000% in 12 months, and went from inconsistent and unpredictable revenues of up to multiple six figures in my business. But just before we get too far in today, great, what's the secret sauce? 10,000 in 7 months. We will definitely get to that. But before we get too far, what I need, for you guys to do for me today is, I'm going to give you my strategies from going from concept to conversion and being able to hit that mark. But I need you to commit to actually going out and executing on the things that I teach you. In the words of author, speaker, and marketer Seth Godin, there's no shortage of remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to actually execute them. And that is what I see so many people, it's like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. But they aren't actually going out and doing it. So that is really what I ask for in terms of your commitment. So what people used to believe about entrepreneurship, we're looking at it in a different way. And the old reality really is that people used to believe, and that I fear, honestly, some people still believe this, is that entrepreneurs don't make a lot of money, even after several years in business. And according to Glassdoor, which you may or may not be familiar with, the average entrepreneur doesn't even make $50,000 per year. 50,000 is not the number that most people are dreaming of when they picture, being a successful entrepreneur, and it doesn't sustain the lifestyle that you envision for yourself as a business owner. And worse yet, what if you can't sustain that and it doesn't work? So with a failure rate for businesses of up to 90% and a failure rate of up to 95% on new products, the odds are not in favor of the average entrepreneur, which is why you can't be average when it comes to hitting these goals of getting to that 10K mark. So if you want to be able to create offers that convert and allow you the financial freedom that you're seeking, something needs to be done differently and needs to change. So the truth being, let's be honest, I know you guys are young still, you're students, but you've likely, if you're in this club, in this group, you've been looking for ideas of how you can, make your $10,000 a month and more. And you may be stuck in that black hole of courses and ideas and research and telling yourselves, if you just finish this certification or you just, do this or that, that you'll be able to get there. But people get stuck in this cycle. And they spend a lot of unnecessary money. And it really honestly does not take that much money to be able to, create a profitable offer and business, specifically in that online realm. One of my personal mentors told me it's about having what they call, and I now call also, the MVP, And I'm not talking about the most valuable player like you may think in baseball, but instead that stands for the minimum viable product. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that term. If so, please, definitely drop it in the comments. But just to elaborate on that is you get out of your head and just stop being stuck in that cycle of I need to do this before I can do that. And you may not be an expert in something, and that is a big mistake too that people make is, well, how can I create this idea? How can I get out there and actually start this business? Because that's normal. It's totally okay. But what got you to that point won't get you to that next point. So in order to accelerate your growth and give you the confidence that you need to move forward quickly is kind of what we're going to be covering today here. So if you can apply this system, you can be able to turn those dreams and ideas into high performing concepts that connect with your ideal clients, which we'll talk a little bit more about too. And most importantly, help you to convert those high performing concepts into dollar signs. So getting into the meat and bones here now. Okay, so if you can do those things, you will be able to not only launch a successful business, but you'll be able to have the ability to hit that $10,000 month in or $10,000 per month mark in as little as 12 months, as I put out here. But so there's those cases just like Victoria, like myself, where we're making that in less than 12 months. So honestly, most people can, if you apply it correctly, you can hit that level. I've seen people do it in as little as 3, but it's not a promise, but if you are willing to put it out there. So at the beginning of all this, I definitely promised you I didn't want to do a bunch of fluff. So I want to go ahead and dig in, roll up your sleeves and get down, into the how to take that idea from creation to conversion with those 5 simple shifts. So, well, I might be dating myself here and say, grab a pencil and paper, grab your laptop, whatever. But you may want to take notes on this next section. So make sure you have that handy. What I call my 90 days to cash flow system. It's a series of 5 simple steps to help you go from the idea of your online offering to profitable sales for your business, so that you can leave the idea of having to go into that traditional life and live your dream of an entrepreneur, leave those old ideas in the past and start truly and authentically living that life that you desire and, following through with those dreams. So to begin with, we have to open up all the possibilities, what I like to call opening the can of worms. And the best way that I have found to do this is with brainstorming. And I know brainstorming probably sounds very basic to all of you, and you probably think, okay, I already know how to do this, but what we're going to go through today is the true art of brainstorming. And I will even take you through just a mini version of the exercise today, so that you can get some of these ideas flowing for yourself. And after that, I will show you not only how to not only research what is viable for your offer, but how you go out and find, your tribe or your target audience. One huge mistake that people make when they're first starting out and they're running forward with an idea in their business is that they skip this step of understanding who they're actually selling their business to and their offer. Because you might think, oh, this is a good idea to me, but they don't put it in front of the right people. And when you don't put it in front of the right people, you're not going to get the results that you want in your business. And before I keep going here, I know I've seen some other people popping in, so I also just want to let you know, if you have questions at any point, just go ahead, drop those in the chat. I am happy to try to answer those as we go throughout. I will also make sure that there's time at the end to do that. So. Okay, so that last one too, by the way, was getting the spaghetti to stick in terms of finding the right people that your offer is going to stick with. So then we're going to also talk about the nailing your non-negotiables, because what happens when a lot of people start out is that they don't set their businesses up in a way that it aligns with what are called their non-negotiables and those things that are like deal breakers for them, and then they get burnt out. So we're gonna go through that, as well as how to shake your bushes or shake your first sale out of the bushes. And what do I mean by that is just truly leveraging your network and shaking out the low hanging fruit by asking for referrals and warm market outreach with a curiosity conversation, as I like to call it. And then the last shift we're going to talk about today is what most entrepreneurs aim for, and that is scaling. And in order to really make this, a business your primary income, you need a system to get new prospects in, enroll them in your solution, your service programs, offers, or how to sell them your products. And you need to understand how you do that, and that's everything from generating leads to making sales. And my chat window disappeared here. So if you're chatting me, I guess I don't see it right now. So
it's just me. It's just me
Okay.
adding in notes from what you're saying.
Okay, well, just raise your hand and shout if there's a note. Oh, there it is. It popped over to my other screen. Apologies. Okay, so to start with, we are going to open up a can of worms, as I said. And in order to have that solid base to build your business on, you need to open up all of the possibilities. And you must narrow down which possibilities can then translate into viable business offers and ideas to be able to hit that $10,000 a month. So this can of worms, we're going to do this one together. So this is where I said, it's good for you to have your pen and papers handy. We're gonna jump in a little bit, but the first step of a successful brainstorm is what we call the creation phase. During this phase, we're going to brainstorm ideas, get them out of your head and make them concrete, meaning putting them down on paper or, again, on your computer, making them super clear so that you can see the path of growth in front of you. Approaching this phase is about learning how to play the game, how to create the ideas, and then how to take them and turn them into actionable steps that you can actually use in creating your business. This step is the most critical step in starting a business, but for some reason, most people end up skipping it. And a great idea that isn't made into actionable steps is just a great idea, right? So why would you skip this? But most importantly, by skipping this vital step of making your ideas concrete before moving forward, you may produce undesirable results like never getting the idea off the ground due to a lack of knowledge of how to do it, or spinning your wheels over and over. And I don't want you to be that guy or girl, because it's painful to see people get stuck there, when they have such great ideas, but they just can't get out of that cycle. Or people just developing frustration, which leads to leaving behind your idea to create a new idea and then repeating that cycle over and over and over again. Or potentially creating a business that has no balance in it. And then you burn yourself out. So by taking the time to complete this brainstorm exercise when creating a business, you're going to gain the ability to launch a business quickly and effectively by understanding the business side of your niche and being able to focus on what you do best rather than spending wasted hours on activities that can be streamlined, delegated, or made more productive in some fashion. So, and what I am giving you here today is the opportunity to save thousands of dollars on lost income from wasted time and investments in hoping that something works rather than actually learning from success. So most people don't want to leave I don't think you want to leave your business up to chance, which is why we're gonna kind of try to do this the right way. So I'm going to assume that because you're here, you don't want to waste time and you don't want to leave your business up to chance. But rather that you want to succeed in your business goals. So I'm going to give you a head start on that creation phase here. And I hope, again, that you have something to write on because you're going to want to actually put this into practice now. So I want to start today by this little exercise by what I like to say, getting in the mood. And by getting in the mood, I mean being in the right state of mind when you're preparing for a brainstorm. This will set the tone for your brainstorming session and can have a direct correlation to successful incomes. And this may take the form, for some people of meditation, listening to your favorite song, dancing, visualizing where you want to be in a year, etc. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to put the creation phase into practice and do a little mini brainstorm now. So before we begin here, I want us to just go ahead and take like 30 seconds to a minute to just refocus and get yourself in a good position. So get comfortable. If you want to, play a little music in the background, loosen up, do some stretches, get up and move around. So this is, it's going to be like a 5-minute exercise probably. It'll be quick, but just want to make sure you're in a good space. And then, if you don't want to get up and do any of those things, what I'm going to ask you to otherwise do is just close your eyes right now and just picture yourself, a year from now, because even though you're still students, these are things that don't have to wait until, you're done in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever, that may be for you. So just picture yourself a year from now. You are in your happy place, whether that's laying on the beach or skiing in the Swiss Alps or relaxing at home with people that you love. But no matter what, in all of these scenarios, you are a successful business owner and you only have to work a few hours a day. You're bringing in your 6+ figures a year, doing things that you love and enjoying your life. And I want you to just picture that, stay there for a moment and allow yourself to just imagine the possibilities that come along with that. And just, keep your eyes closed there for, and now I can't see them, I know, but I'm going to assume that your eyes are closed. So do that for a few more seconds. I see you, Timit. Okay, so hopefully everybody now is in the zone and you're relaxed, so you can open up your eyes and get ready to just do a little bit of brainstorming. So before we start, I just want to review the rules for a successful session, just so everybody knows what to expect. And I know they may sound restrictive or boring, but it's important to your success to make these rules very clear for you. So there we go. So number 1, set a time frame. The brainstorm is going to be made up of 3 phases. We're going to really focus just on the first one today, but it's made up of 3 phases, which I call the dream phase, the question phase, and the dollars phase. I typically would recommend for you to start with about 5 minutes for each of these 3 phases. So about 15 minutes total. Out of respect for your time today, we're going to do like a mini version and go through phase 1, and we're going to cap it at 3 minutes instead of 5. But it is important to set those time frames for yourself and not to give yourself too much time, because what happens when we have too much time is that we have a tendency to overthink things, which is just something that can paralyze you. So I do encourage you after this session to continue going through the rest of this process. So rule number 2 is no negative comments. And this means from you or from others. So if you end up doing this brainstorming session with yourself, you need to only do it with someone who you know is positive, like-minded, and who's going to raise the bar and not drag you down. So if you have, a friend who's just always complaining or looking at the dark side of things, they're not someone you want to do a brainstorm with. And it is really helpful sometimes to have a community around you, to help fuel those ideas. So no negative comments. And this means for you to no telling yourself that something is stupid or scolding yourself for not coming up with a good idea, because all work that we do here is good work, because just it's getting you closer to your end goal of hitting that $10,000 mark and starting your own profitable businesses. And sometimes you have to sort through some ideas that aren't the best before you get to the best ideas. Number 3 is that you are going to specify the topic or the problem. So before the timer starts, I want to be very clear about, or want you to be clear about, what problem you're trying to solve or what topic you're brainstorming. This will help you bring clarity to your ideas. And so today, for instance, it's your business idea. If you already have a business idea, then we're going to think, is there a specific product or a specific service or just your business as a whole? But whatever, you can use this same method for any type of brainstorming. So when you go into it, just make sure that you know exactly what it is that you are brainstorming about. So again, today we're generally for most people are brainstorming business ideas or ideas to take your business to the next level if you already have one. Okay. Next would be to go for volume, also known as don't spend too much overthinking each idea, because if it pops into your head, I want you to just put it on the list. You can sift through it later to determine which ideas are keepers. So just get as much out as you possibly can. And this goes back a little bit to the, no negativity, but don't label anything a good or bad idea. It's a good idea either, because until you have put all ideas out there and you've vetted all ideas, saying something is even good prematurely doesn't allow you to have that open mind to make sure that you see all of the ideas out there. So we're going to then make sure you also welcome your unusual ideas. As I like to say, like, let your freak flag fly. Welcome anything unusual. It's okay and even encouraged to be a little weird in your ideas, because unusual ideas are what set you apart and what really give you a competitive edge. So if it pops into your head, put it on the list. Nothing is off the table in this brainstorming phase. And then last rule, combine and improve. So once all ideas are out on paper or on your computer, it's time to combine and improve on your ideas. And this leads into the phases 2 and 3, which are the question and monetization brain dumps. So now that the rules are set and we're feeling good, the next step is what I like to call the creation ideation brain dump. In the ideal brainstorm session, you're gonna, again, have those 3 sessions within the session. And that's the creation, the questions, and monetization, and making sure the goal is clear and that you set those time limits. So we're going to focus again today on just the ideation creation part. So in the next few minutes, I would like you all to write down all of the ideas that come to your mind for your business. And if you already have a business, use this as an exercise to determine, what you want to offer people, if it's a service-based business, or what type of products that you want to offer. So for instance, if you are have a marketing agency but you don't know what service to offer, you can think about that. Or if you're a travel blogger and you want to come up with brand offers for hotels and travel companies to put yourself out there, or if you're a real estate agent, this can be thinking about not only like selling houses, but ideas to help generate interest in your business. So again, find something that is relevant for the situation that you are in, and you can make this your own brainstorm. And honestly, if you're not sure what type of business or offer you want to put out there, that's okay too. Just start thinking about things that you enjoy and skills that you may have. So for instance, if you have experience with Google ads, you could start your own ad agency that focuses on paid ads, and that would be a low-hanging fruit. If you are someone who is really artistic and you enjoy graphic design, you don't have to be a graphic designer, but you could be a content creator that creates graphic content for people on social media. If you are somebody who enjoys travel, you could be a travel blogger. If you are a photographer and you enjoy travel, you could also potentially look at being a travel photographer, or someone who works with travel organizations to promote their destinations and their businesses. The possibilities are literally endless. So with that, I forgot to have my music queued up today, but I am going to set a timer, so we might be quiet here for a few minutes. I'm going to set a timer. So I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes here. So right now, again, we just want to brainstorm ideas out of all of those things I just said. Okay, ready, set, and go. And also just want to say, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay. We're down to 2 minutes. I'll just keep checking in with you. And again, feel free to ask questions if you have them. Okay, we're down to 1 minute. Thirty seconds. Okay, pencils or pens or computers down. Give yourself a pat on the back because you have officially started the creation phase of your business or offer ideation. So I want you to keep this list, take a picture, whatever you need to do to keep it top of mind. And I'm going to outline the rest of the steps in the process for you so you can complete this brainstorm, either on your own or with a small group of other like-minded entrepreneurs. It looks like you have a really great group of people here. Feel free to work with each other to even do that. But after this initial brain dump, you're going to have a solid base to build on. And the next step, which will also directly correlate with the research phase that we will touch on next, is questions. So after you complete this phase, make sure to keep the list handy to use in your market research. During this phase, your goal is going to be to clarify the most important questions that you want to answer during that market research phase. So for example, where can I find my target customers? What are my target customers saying? Remember, this is just a questions phase, so don't get stuck on the answer or how you're going to find it. Just keep the questions coming. I typically do this in each of these 3 phases, again, in 5-minute increments, because if you give yourself too much time, you might spin your wheels a little bit too much. But you can do whatever works best for you. But do keep it short. Putting a little bit of pressure on it is always helpful to drive ideas. So you have the ideas, you have the questions, what comes next, right? Well, to round out a successful brainstorm session, you're going to focus next on the monetization and marketing. And it's important to remember that these ideas aren't necessarily where you're going to end up, but they are necessary to get to the next shift in creating and selling your offer, which is research. Just another reminder, again, don't get too stuck because these will change as you do your research, and just get a few things down on paper to start from. Don't get stuck in the weeds. So once you've finished all of the above, you're going to figure out what things then that you want to actually keep. And this is where you combine and the combine and improve part that I mentioned earlier comes in, and where it becomes even more helpful to have someone else to be brainstorming with. When deciding what ideas to keep, I want you to keep these 3 questions in mind. And that is, what insights are you taking away from the brainstorm? What questions are you going to research and answer? And then what solid ideas do you have that you on like our solid ideas on how you can market and monetize this idea without ads. Okay. Oh. Now that the brainstorming is done, we move on to the research. And I know that it can sound a bit boring. Luckily, you guys, I assume most of you are students. So you're used to doing a little bit of research, most likely. But honestly, this is the part of the equation that many people do skip and what leads to such a high rate of failure in small businesses. And that's why it makes it so much more important that you actually do this. Because you can have the best idea for a business, but if you haven't vetted your idea properly and you aren't putting your idea in front of the right people, you're never going to reach your potential, and even worse, may fail completely and end up back where you started, which is in your cases either back in a regular job or just having to start over from square one. So I want you to take the time to get to know your audience and figure out what actually sticks with them. It's finding the perfect balance between a problem that your clients will actually pay money to have solved and the singular focus of your marketing messages. Like pairing those up is key. And having this perfect alignment allows for you to actually target the right people directly and correctly. So to start with, you're going to need to spend some time getting to know who the target customers are through market research. It sounds like a lot, but it really, when it comes down to it, the best place to start this is social media. What the platform or medium where your customers live can vary based on your offer. So for instance, if you're trying to reach yoga teachers, your platform could be Facebook groups, where there's a large number of yogis, or Instagram, potentially, but you probably wouldn't go to LinkedIn to find yoga instructors if that's your ideal market. So keep in mind where they may be. If you are in real estate, again, they can be in lots of places, but you may want to consider, like, again, Facebook groups, because there's probably people in groups that are talking about looking for houses, and then you can go ahead and have conversations with them. So being able to really do the research and hear what people are saying, you want to know where exactly they are. So that's step one. Where are they? Beyond social media, other places to look would be, networking groups, whether it's online or in person, different online forums, even like Reddit, which technically is social media as well, but lots of people are talking in Reddit and you have opportunities to ask questions as well. Looking at your competitor websites is also important, and their social media. And once you can figure out where the people are, then you want to start observing the behaviors and pain points. Observe, post questions, answer, if they're posting their own questions, answer questions in various channels, just to get the conversations flowing and getting them talking, and to answer the burning questions that you have that will help you define the market, need for your services. And ask yourself these questions in your research, okay? One, what is your target customer saying? What aren't they saying? And what is your competition saying? What are they not saying? And what are the pain points of these ideal clients? Interacting with your target client, understanding their pain points, it's really going to help you to better know and understand where you can truly help them and where your service, your solution, or your product really fits in. Spend some time doing this, do your homework, get to know your people. Okay, so next step, nailing some non-negotiables. When aspiring to live the life that you desire, you need to not only know, but rather nail your non-negotiables. And what I mean by this is you need to learn to align your business and your offering, your products, with the ideal lifestyle that you visualize for yourself, and doing this from day one. Doing this will not only make it easier to successfully get started, but to actually then scale up in your business, allowing you to sustain that ideal lifestyle long-term. If you don't nail this step, entrepreneurship will not be what you envision for yourself, but may be an undue source of stress and tension for you. And I encourage you to jot down your non-negotiables if you know them now, as a reminder to yourself, what your lifestyle goals are. So as you really dig into building your plan, that these are always front and center, top of mind. And if you're not sure what they are, use the brainstorming method to go through and figure those out. But for examples, some lifestyle non-negotiables that I have are that I will not spend 16 hours a day working inside of my business. My weekends are reserved for family and friends. I try not to work, at least on Sundays. I do work sometimes on Saturdays. And that I'm able to travel to new locations frequently, because that is something that is important to me, and I need to be able to do that in my business. As for business non-negotiables, there's one that I share along with Zadie, who was going to be joining me. She was in the flyer. You probably saw her picture, but her internet went out. She is here. She's on as NewCredit CEO here. And that's the type of people we choose to work with. We both look for positive, open-minded people that are willing to put in the work as coaches, because we want them to have that energy, and it's important to help them make their dreams happen. No negative Nancy's and life-draining Debbie Downers. If we're going to help someone live the lifestyle they envision, we need them to be all in. So whether, again, I know we had someone in here that, wants to go into real estate, there should be ideal clients that you want to work with. And you don't need to be desperate to just work with anybody, and you'll actually find that you're going to make more money the more you can define what these non-negotiables are and who those people are that you may want to work with. Okay, so number 4 out of our 5 shifts is what will get you out there and is the low-hanging fruit when it comes to financial success. You need to shake the bushes, and this means use your network. The most successful marketing I'm in marketing, but I will tell you the most successful thing that you can do is word of mouth. And the best way to get that is to use your existing network. Ask for referrals, which can be awkward, but trust me, it's worth it. Ask questions, open up what I call a curiosity conversation. So for example, let's say you have Bob in your network. So, hey, Bob, I'm starting my own social media management agency, and I'm looking for small businesses that could use help growing their online presence. I notice you're connected to lots of small business owners. Are there any people you think that could use this type of help in their business? It's literally that simple. You aren't always going to get a yes from someone, but when you do, the personal referral is like a golden ticket of trust. That person is vouching for you, which immediately builds what we call the know, like, and trust factor, and gives you a leg up on your competition. And I get it, it can definitely be awkward, especially when you're new and don't totally believe in your business or yourself yet. But you know what? People like you, people trust you, and they will oftentimes be willing to go out of their way to help you. So just give it a shot. The worst they can say is no, and you can give a polite thank you for your consideration. I appreciate you thinking about it. Just take the learning experience and know that for every no, and this is the same within your network as well as, outside of your personal network, but with every no that you get, you are that much closer to a yes. And the best way to approach a conversation with someone in your network is from a place of honesty. Let them know that you're new at this, but you're dedicated to making it work and will do amazing work for anyone they refer you to. Give them a chance to believe in you before you tell yourself that they don't believe in you. Okay. And finally, the one that really brings you up to that next level, and that is number 5, the step that all aspiring entrepreneurs are aiming for when they start, and that is scaling your business. In order to truly scale your business, it begins with you. Successful entrepreneurs need a team, but not before they learn the skills needed to scale to the next level. So look at it this way. You need to learn it so that you can teach it. So once you've tapped your network, the next step is going to be scaling to create a solid system for building a base of prospects to actually reach out to. And how do you do this? And this is by going back to the research that you did in step 2, and that's where you find your people. or your tribe. Finding your tribe is like striking gold when it comes to free lead generation and having to not pay for advertising. On Instagram, for instance, the easiest way to find your audience is to hone in on the hashtags that they're using. Once you find that the hashtags, you can actually find the people. And the best part is that you can find those, people who truly want and need your services and engage in meaningful conversations that are beneficial for the client and enjoyable for you because you legitimately want to help these people. And then the more you do this, the more you attract what it is that you're looking for. So same rule of thumb is going to carry over to any other platform other than Instagram. Find out again where they are and start building rapport and making meaningful conversations and connections with people. It might be slightly different, hashtags aren't as big of a thing, of course, on Facebook necessarily as they are on Instagram, but it is about having those meaningful connections with people and to keeping it real with people. And don't just be out there selling, because people don't want to hear that. They want to truly get to know you. And when they, again, it goes back to that know, like, and trust. When people know you, they like you, they trust you, they want to buy from you. And that growth and that scaling can happen so fast. You can literally go from making $1,000 a month to $10,000 in a matter of 30 days. And the key to keeping it real with your tribe is having those authentic conversations that come from a place of true caring and concern and wanting to help, because helping others for the good of helping feels good for both of you. And it allows you to build that loyal audience that you can connect with and attracts the type of clients and followers that you want. So how does this translate into scaling? How do you go from one-on-one conversations to having a team behind you? Well, you master the one-on-one outreach and the warm network, and you bring on team members and continue to scale up while you design your empire around your ideal lifestyle. And yes, capitalizing on your personal brand, which I didn't actually say, but this is really about your personal branding, because when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, it is about you. I mean, it isn't about you, but it is, because your business is really about them, whether it's a product-based or a service-based business, whether you're selling, blankets on Amazon, or you are a coach or a consultant of some sort. People buy from people that they like. So thank you, Zadie. Okay. So just to review here, if you can, open the can of worms and uncover all of those possibilities. Get the spaghetti to stick by finding the right offer and the right audience. Learn to align your business with your goals so you can nail those non-negotiables. Shake the bushes, get those referrals coming in first, and then be setting your business up to scale from day one. You can and will turn the dreams into dollars and get that cash flow coming in quickly by creating and selling ideas and offers that are not only viable but profitable. You can hit 6 figures in less than 12 months, or if you're going back to Victoria, only 7 months. And most importantly, you will be able to build your business. And if you're already in a 9-to-5, you'll be able to leave that lifestyle in your rearview mirror as you set out on your life of adventure and freedom and truly living that life that you have been dreaming of in starting your own business. Okay, Tam, that question there is, do you always have to have your personal brand attached to your business, or is that when you first start? Well, definitely when you first start, because if you're trying to build your visibility online, I mean, think about it. Like when you're going to somebody's just Instagram page and they just have all these pretty pictures or like Canva designs on there, but you don't know who they are. Why would you trust them and like them and want to buy anything from them? You don't. So absolutely 100% when you first start out. Now, if the goal is to, scale up and actually build a business that you can sell, then you can maybe move away from the personal branding and build more of just like a company brand as you grow and scale up. But a lot of times, in especially, these smaller businesses when starting out, and as you grow, your face is the face that people trust. Like for instance, in my business, when I first started, it was literally just me. And I was the face of the brand. I am still the face of my brand, but I now have, a team of 7 or 8 people that we're up to right now. So I start bringing them more into it. We start talking about it, and they're more a part of conversations. So yeah, in 10 years from now, if I wanted to sell my company, I may not be quite as involved. But personal branding really, truly is, it's what it's all about. Look at Richard Branson, for instance, right? Virgin everything, Virgin Galactic, Virgin Hotels, Virgin Airlines, everything. He's a brand. Virgin is a brand, but he's still the face of that brand, and he's a billionaire. So I don't think it's something that you necessarily ever really truly move away from, no matter how successful. Facebook, man, not the best week for Mark Zuckerberg, but he still is the face of that brand. Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody saw Zadie's comment there to add. It can also be industry specific. So if you offer a service, that will typically be closely associated with you and who you are. If you're doing like e-commerce where you're selling products online, it's entirely possible for you to work from the background later. But again, as you're promoting organically on social media and not running ads, you still, even in a product-based business at the beginning, you are the face of that business, because in order to get people to buy something from you without having to pay for advertising, especially they need to trust you. And they're looking to you for that example. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So I want you to just take a moment with me here. And I'm going to have you close your eyes one last time and imagine the possibilities. Imagine what your life will look like if you could easily create new profitable business ideas in just 5 minutes. If you can find warm leads that come to you easily and convert them quickly into cash flow. And the best part of all, imagine if you could scale and streamline your business while building financial and time freedom to do the things that truly matter to you. Just imagine, what would that feel like? Okay. And if you're not going to be shy, I'd ask you to even take it maybe one step further and make it more real by dropping that feeling into the chat now. Because again, you're putting it out there to the world. So don't be shy, please share. I like sharing.
And you said put that feeling in the chat. What do we put in the chat?
What it would feel like.
Okay.
Or what your life would look like if you could do all of these things. If you reach those goals, and let's say a year from now you're making $100,000, $200,000, what would that feel like? Okay, I don't know if it's Tara or Tiara. Satisfied, awesome, thank you. Mind blowing, agreed. Accomplished, yeah, it feels really great. Luxurious and timeless, love it. Okay, good, some good feelings going here. Because sometimes it is about the visualization, really, of making it a reality. And when it does come down to it, you have to believe that this is real and this is happening for you, because if you don't believe it's possible, it's not. If you tell yourself it's not possible, then that's the truth. It's not possible. But if you tell yourself that it is possible, it is 100% possible. So, just to kind of recap here, there's 3 types of people that I see, as a business coach. And the first person, there's someone who really loves learning. They take a lot of notes, but then After they learn it, they close their notebook and they don't really do anything with all the notes they've taken. Okay. The second person will do things. They'll take notes. They'll start the brainstorm even. They'll even do the exercises, that we outlined in here, but in about, a week or two, they aren't sure where to go. They fizzle out and they don't have the accountability or, the knowledge to actually act on these things. And the third type of person, which hopefully, I think most of you are here if you're wanting to be entrepreneurs and you're still a student, is that they take the notes, they take the actions, but they also have accountability and get personalized feedback and make sure that they are on the right path and they've been doing it that they're doing it the right way for them. And honestly, I do love all of these people. I have been all of these people, but I want you to think for yourself and think about, who you are and who you want to be. Do you want to be the person that takes the notes, person, that does it alone, or the one that actually makes it this the time that it works? So, at this point, I want to make sure, we're at the 1 hour mark here. I want to invite you, if you want more, have more questions, you want to discuss your brainstorm, you want to follow us, definitely invite you to book a call with me. I'm happy to help you, on your journey and getting that started. It's low stress. We just simply have a conversation to kind of discover your goals, what we need to do to help you actually reach them. Okay. This will, help me to determine how and if I can help you. As I mentioned, I do like to work with positive, open-minded people. So ask that if you come into that, you come in with an open mind. And otherwise, if you're not really sure where to go from here and you know that you want to start, but you just want to observe a little bit, I do invite you to join my Facebook group. And the name is up on the screen there. Zadie, I don't know if you can drop the link in the chat, or maybe that's what you already. Oh, great. Love that, Catherine. Evolving into the